Hello, my name is Natalia Hernandez, and today I will be sharing insights into my leadership style. So, this journey has been both reflective and practical as I explored my approach to leadership through self-assessment and feedback from colleagues. I noticed that there were many different things that came up for me and that I'm still learning. So, the purpose of this presentation, of course, is to discuss the different tools I use to assess my leadership style and the key findings from these tools. And of course, the feedback that I received. I'll also be highlighting my leadership development plan with you all. So we used three different tools. The first tool that I used was the Daring Leadership Assessment. Um, for the purpose of this tool, it was to focus on vulnerability, trust building, and resilience. Also, my coworker, which is our admin coordinator, she completed the same Daring Leadership Assessment for me. Um, and the cool thing about this is that this gave me some feedback on how I saw myself and how she saw myself. The feedback underscored like the importance of trust dynamics within my team, and it encouraged me to maintain, those clear boundaries while continue to create a supportive environment. The second leadership tool that I used was a leadership style quiz. In this quiz, I was identified as a diplomat leader. So this emphasized the interpersonal, like harmony, but highlighting the areas like assertiveness. Um, so I thought this was really cool because I feel like I don't really get to see these things or identify these things within myself on a day-to-day basis. So being able to do this through a quiz and getting that as my feedback was very was eye-opening for me, right? It allowed me to kind of process what I do, what I want to do, what I want to do in the future, and how I can continue to kind of carry myself within the program or not just the program that I'm in now, but also in my workplace. Um, the third assessment tool that I used was the personal style inventory. I thought this was really cool. It allowed me to realize and identify who I am and how I can be. Um, some of the, what I was, sorry, what my personality was ESFP, which this aligns with my strengths in social dynamics and practical leadership. So some key insights of this that I learned was my strengths, right? So my strengths were building connections, adaptability, and leading with values. And some growth areas that I recognize was that I need to start being more trusting. I feel like I lack in that, and which is ironic because I really thought that I was more trusting. But I guess the way that I did this, it showed that I needed to kind of expand on that and work on that with my coworkers and supervisors and maybe my friends, who knows? Um, and then one other thing that I saw for growth was, balancing assertiveness in my workplace. And of course, it goes with those boundaries, right? So I need to work on not being too lenient and too passive, but also, kind of set those standards and ask for help when I need it and being open to support. Um, and then something also that I recognize as I was doing my assessments is that I do best in structured approaches. Um, when I am giving like a list of things to do or given tasks, I really like structure. I really like to kind of be giving like a list or, certain deadlines because for me, that's how I work best. Not that I like to be micromanaged, but I definitely like that, I guess that plan, that structure to where I can follow and kind of just have an idea of what I got to do or who I got to speak to versus kind of just winging certain things. Um, so some of the feedback that I received from my coworker, she's the program admin coordinator for a program, and some things that she kind of told me was that, she feels that I am a very great team player and she feels that I do really well with the team. But something that she has noticed is that I need to work on setting those clear boundaries came as it was evident throughout my assessments that I was taking. Um, so kind of working on setting those clear boundaries while I'm still creating the supportive environment, right? So I'm not being like too passive or too like aggressive or assertive, but I'm like right in the middle to where people feel comfortable coming to me and asking for support when needed, but also not feeling like I'm just gonna be like an emotional support and then disregard like the work that needs to be done. So I need to definitely work on that. I'm a very warm person. I really like to connect with people. So I really love to like chit chat. I love to build those relationships. But sometimes, I've had to learn that sometimes it's not appropriate for every environment or every situation. It's like business, and then there's, of course, the opposite of that. So I'm working on it. It's something that with time I'll get there, but I need to definitely set those boundaries with myself and with those around me for me to improve myself and, potentially be in a leadership role, right? Like somebody that has an open door policy, but also has their boundaries. So I'm working on it. It's a whole thing, but we're getting there. Um, so for my leadership development plan, um, my two domains were the executive leadership and then community collaboration. So some of the goals that I kind of wanted to dive into for the executive leadership was to enhance trust and emotional intelligence. Um, while still being a part of the team, still um, again creating those boundaries and being able to build that community in my workplace. And then the second thing was improve decision making through workshops and having the structured like feedback system. So I definitely want to do more networking. I definitely want to, get more input from the community members. I want to also have like a feedback box, in the office or at a reception where people from the community and staff members as well can, put comments in there and kind of give some feedback or suggestions that can make our program better or something that maybe we're not offering that we can take in consideration when we're budgeting and when we're planning to make sure that we are providing our community with the things that they need to be given or those resources to make those resources available. And then for the community collaboration domain, the goals that I had set was build these partnerships in order to have more options and more resources for our community that we can use, and then also increase that staff engagement in program planning. So make sure that all staff are also included into these decisions, included to decision making. And when we come up with a decision, then we would send like maybe a survey out or send something where they can provide feedback on the decisions that we are planning on executing, right? So that way everyone has a say and they feel like they're a part of a system and not just going to work, but they're also involved in like the things that we provide our community with. Um, and of course, we want to, incorporate the diversity and inclusion, right, into leadership practices. That's definitely important. We want to make sure that that everyone feels like they're a part of something, that everyone feels like they're included, and that everyone's voice is heard. We want to make sure that all walks of life um, have some say into this, practice or into this community organization. Because at the end of the day, these are the individuals that we will be serving in the community. And not just that, we are also those individuals as well, right? We all need resources, we all need support. And if we can work at a place that provides all of this, then we know we did our job. So, all in all, in conclusion, this process has definitely deepened like my self-awareness. It has clarified my strengths and highlighted the, actionable steps for growth as a person, someone that wants to go into a leadership role. I'm more committed than ever now to just create the equitable, inclusive spaces that empower my team and the communities we serve. So, I'm really excited and I'm really grateful that I was able to kind of take a step back and kind of look into all of these different assessment tools because it really gave me an insight on how I am currently being and how I can potentially be with all these different tools. Um, and, just kind of ending it with like, leadership is definitely a journey, right? And no one just wakes up and is in that position. I know we have to work towards it and there's going to be a lot of growing pains. But I'm, excited to continue refining my skills and advancing in that way. And if I can make a change, then that is my goal. So thank you for listening to my presentation and have a great rest of the semester.